I do a lot of phone conferences just to see if we've got jurisdiction and if it's something that we do and something that we'll be great at, because our goal is to do it as well or better than anybody else and do it at a price point that's reasonable, so we feel great about delivering great service at that price point and the client feels good about it. Although it's a little bit like me shopping for a car or a new set of tires, I have a hard time catching up with what a fair price point on those things can be. But I think the main thing, after they've talked to me, and if I'm telling them, okay, I'm not going to be able to handle that for you, but you do need to reach out, I'll tell them, just tell your story. So first of all, don't try to use the words that you saw online or that a bank teller mentioned to you that may or may not have been misunderstood or mispronounced. Just tell your story. And a good lawyer will be able to ask questions to clarify, to know what kind of help you need and whether or not they can provide that for you. But it reminds me of going to the doctor. I want the doctor to think I've got a modicum of intelligence, and so I try to use words that probably are not appropriate. They're words where I don't need to memorize the bones in my body to tell the doctor, man, my elbow really hurts. And let that professional ferret that out. That's one of the reasons that it's so dangerous to try to do these things yourself. Because you look and you say, okay, this is my vocabulary and how I understand this, just like I would with engineering or theology or medicine. I don't know that lingo. And here's what these forms are saying. And now I have to interpret. I don't know what that word means for sure, and so I'm not absolutely sure it applies to me. And so we get I shared with somebody earlier today, we get the downloaded will where we come in and Granny has passed away, and they say, well, Granny didn't want no affidavit. And I'll say, well, I certainly respect your late grandmother for being anti-affidavit. That's an unusual position to take, but I live in a country where you can be free to dislike whatever inanimate objects you want to. And so the problem with that is that was the self-proving affidavit. So now we're trying to track down these witnesses or get handwriting witnesses. We've added, by the way, almost always cleaning up the mistake cost 4 or 5 times what it would cost to have just had it done by somebody who knew what they were doing in the first place.
That's like the Fram oil filter guy. Pay me now or pay me later. And I also find, right in line with what you're talking about, sometimes folks are timid about asking questions, kind of like they might be timid at the car dealership. I really do want that backup camera.